I've never seen a diamond in the flesh. I cut my teeth on wedding rings in the movies, and I'm not proud of my address.
We're not just building muscle, we're building men. In the quiet hours, in the unfiltered moments, in the conversations that happen before the world wakes up. This is the Glue-OOM, where brotherhood forms in the dark so we can lead in the light, where vulnerability is strength and leadership is handed from man to man, one story at a time. Our mission is to empower, exhort, and inspire men to achieve their best selves through stories of reinvigorated male community leadership. We bring you weekly interviews with F3 Omaha PAX, ordinary men doing extraordinary things in fitness, fellowship, faith, and leadership, because we believe that every man has a story, and reinvigoration starts when that story is shared. This is the Glue in the Gloom. Shout out to our sponsors, Avior Wealth Management, Liberty Core Real Estate, Major Team Mortgage, Exclusively Eye Care, Omaha Laser Dentistry, and McNamara Law Firm. We appreciate your support. Liberty Core Real Estate is your homegrown real estate broker. If you're looking to buy or sell real estate, whether personal or investment, Armando, aka Brian, and Megan Michaels' company is ready to serve you. With Command Center in Old Town Elkhorn and agents all throughout the metro, they are more than ready to guide and serve you in your next real estate endeavor. Whether your next move needs to happen now or in 5 years, call or text Armando at 402-770-2165 to get your questions answered. And a special offer for F3 Nation PAX members, Liberty Core will donate $250 to your sponsor of choosing for every closed transaction. Stop looking, start finding today with Liberty Core Real Estate. Now, let's get back to the gloom. And we're back. Man, I love these. Every time we get to interview one of our former leaders, and I suppose current leaders is the right way to say that, but it just brings a smile on my face just to know a little bit what they've been through. Also for guys that I don't know, but today we've got a guy that I feel like I've gotten to know really well, and just watch him be unlocked and then continue to unlock several other men. So we got our man Star-Lord on. Who I will say I believe was the founder of F3 Omaha's first largest shield lock, right? I don't know if that's the way to say that. He can talk us through that, but also recently a Psy-Q at the Combine, and then has recently stepped into a first FQ, some responsibilities there out in the West Sector. So, man, Star-Lord, good to see you. I love that you've got the F3 gear on. You got the village hat. Like, let's go, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Where we'd love to start is just talk us through the EH journey. Like, who EH'd you? What was that journey like? And then first workout, and then how'd you get the name Star?
Yeah, absolutely. So EH story is a little bit different. I was not EH by anyone, actually. My wife, so we had been here for about 2 years. I moved in 2021, I guess. And we didn't really know anyone. We knew Killian's, who was Pat at the time. And I met Babyback, or Jake. But we didn't really know a whole lot of people, and so we were trying to find ways to get out and meet people. Because I was a shift worker while I was still in the military, and inevitably I was always the night shift worker, and so I didn't want to see anyone, I didn't want to talk to anyone, and I just wanted to get in and I wanted to leave. So Liz was looking around trying to find ways for us to meet people, and she's like, "Yeah, you like working out? So there's this men's workout group. Sure, I guess, why not?" And then I waited 6 months because that was I think October of 22. So I guess a little bit more. Anyways, so I waited until June of 23 to actually give it a try. Right as I was on the tail end of my time in the military, I was retiring about 3 or 4 months after that. So finally, I was like, all right, well, I guess let's give it a try. And so I went out there. Deccan was the first Psy-Q, but he was Q that day, and him being a former military person, I thought that was kind of cool as well. So we got into the naming, and my background in the military, I was in weapons and tactics with space, and so I was very familiar with how namings usually happen. Usually on the military side, there's a whole lot more alcohol involved and a lot of really bad stories. But so this was kind of a fun change, but I had something in mind that I wanted. Coming from space background, I knew it was going to be something related to that. But my middle name is Maurice, and so I was like, Space Cowboy. This is 100% where we're going to go with this. I'm gonna steer it. This is gonna be great. And then I think the first one thrown out was Star Lord, and like, giddy up. This sounds pretty good. I'm on board for this. So.
That's awesome. There's definitely worse ones out there, right?
Yes, there are. Yes, there are.
Talk us through, because you were in the Space Force, right?
Yeah.
Like, talk us through some of your military background. I would be curious, like what all branches were you in, and how did that come about?
Absolutely. So I did my first 17 years in the Air Force. While I was in the Air Force, I fell under Space Command because I was a GPS operator. So I was responsible for the constellation. We managed that out of Colorado Springs. And then my last 3 years, I transitioned over to the Space Force. So I was in Germany at the time when I made the initial transition. And then we came out here for my last 2 years. So been all over the country, all over the world. My first assignment was in Las Vegas. And then I went to Florida, then to California, then to Colorado, then back to California. And then I went to Maryland, and then we went overseas for the next 5.5, 6 years. We did 2.5 to 2 3/4 in Korea, and then 3 in Japan, or excuse me, 3 in Germany. And then we came here for the last 2.
Interesting. Well, and I remember when Space Force came out, it was kind of like a meme, right? Like everyone was making fun of Trump that like, what is this thing that happened? So I am curious, and I remember we did CSOP together, so I got to ask you a few questions, but for the listeners, what do you do in Space Force?
Yeah, so really, and I have a coffee mug that is like the absolute perfect coffee mug. My wife found it right away. Someone that was actually excited to move over to the Space Force, their spouse bought like 3 of them. It was like the Air Force, only in space. So it was pretty much the exact same thing.
Have you been to space? Have you been to Mars or any of that?
It would be so much cooler if I had. So much cooler. Yeah. So it's everyone in the world uses GPS. Right now, we're currently using GPS, so that's pretty cool. But so I was excited to get that job. Also, a little bit more backstory. I thought I was going to go to missiles. I thought I was going to be under the ground for like a day or 3 at a time. And so when I actually got the space call, I was like, sweet, this is awesome. I never, ever want to do any of those things. But anyway, so we control satellites from remotely from the ground. In Colorado Springs, there's an antenna there. There's antennas all over the world that we use to connect to the satellites, and we send commands up to it. We do all sorts of different things, and it's really not sexy or fun in any way, shape, or form. Honestly, it's probably one of the more boring jobs there is.
So can you send a laser beam down from space to start fires?
I could tell you, but then I'd have to kill you. I think is the.
I knew that was coming. I knew there was something in there. Well, I love it, and I think I have a guy that I work with that talks about the varying fitness levels of the different branches, and I think he's not usually kind to sort of the Air Force, right, and sort of the fitness level, right, compared to Marines or Navy SEALs, but from that fitness standpoint, like what was your take of the physical workout? Like was it tough for you? Where were you at kind of fitness wise?
It's very much I would say very similar to F3. It is what you make of it. So I went through varying levels of fitness while I was in. Started off probably not in the best place. My headspace just wasn't where it needed to be, and honestly, like all good stories from my life. Liz kind of kicked my ass. Excuse me. I'm sorry. I should probably not. I need to choose my words a little bit better. But yeah, it was starting our family that really kind of helped me to get my life in gear. So super grateful for her.
No, F3 kind of finds people at different stages in their life, especially in their fitness journey, right? Taking the
Yeah.
chance in the summertime makes sense versus October, November, December. It's just hard to get guys out. Where were you at, and did we kind of meet your needs at the time that you found us, and what was your experience those first few workouts? Overall view on that?
The first one was very much not what I was expecting. It was my first workout was at the combine, but it was while it was being held over at Aldrich, and the smoothest asphalt in Omaha is there.
Yeah.
And because no one EH me, no one told me to bring gloves. So I show up with my water bottle, like, all right, let's do this thing. And almost the entire workout was doing wall work. So like my hands hurt so bad for probably 3 weeks afterwards. Like, what the heck did I get myself into here? But all of that aside, honestly, I was in really good shape at the time. I knew that I was going to be transitioning out of the military, and I did not want to give the military a bad rap. Like, oh yeah, we got all these fat people that don't do anything. So I was lifting 5 days a week, and I was running probably 2 or 3 days a week.
Wow.
So I was in a pretty solid place.
That's good. Well, and you kind of come in not knowing anyone. I think
Yeah.
this may be the first M that gets the EH credit
Yeah.
here, which is cool, right? I mean, I love that your wife encouraged you to say, "Hey, you know what? Why don't you try this?" But not coming in. Most guys I think get a little intimidated. What were your thoughts coming in, not really knowing anyone and kind of having to dive in?
Yeah, I had no idea what to expect at all. I did literally no research whatsoever. I guess I saw a couple of the Namoramas. Like, why are they saying their names? I don't get it. This is kind of weird. But and then the first workout, honestly, it felt, or it reminded me a lot of military style. So they don't call them Merkins. It's get in front leaning rest and for push-ups, but there were some names that very much carried over. So like side straddle hops and the counting and everything. Like, oh yeah, this feels right. This is what it's supposed to be like. So that was good. I didn't know enough to be concerned. I was a little bit anxious about not knowing anyone there. But I'd say I'm kind of a big dumb animal. Like, oh, okay, well, I guess I'll just go give it a try. Why not? What's the worst that can happen? So,
I love it. When I think about you, Star-Lord, you'd like to do hard things, right? I mean, I think, when I think about your workouts, or like even doing a Murph with you one time, I remember you're like, well, this is the last set, so we should probably do burpee squats or something. And I'm like, who is this guy? I think I could really start to like this guy. But what do you think, as you like journeyed through F3 and all the different sites, what do you think like pulled you into some of those, like the Murph challenge? And I don't know if maybe guys aren't aware of all the different challenges that you've done, if you maybe share some of those, but would love to hear like the motivation behind it.
I don't know. I do really enjoy just trying to push myself and finding limits. Hopefully, pushing through some of them, or realizing that some of the limits are a little bit more real than maybe I want them to be. So, the fitness side was fine. I think that the Murphs really it started drawing me in because I had never done one before. Pull-ups are in my entire life, and a lifetime of weaknesses. Pull-ups are always one of my biggest weaknesses. They kind of make me crazy. So that was really fun. But if I had to pick one thing that I was like, yeah, this is me. I'm all in on this. It was probably IronPAX. I remember the very first one that I went to, like I was very much at the back of the pack. Like, this sucks. I do not like that these people are in front of me. I'm gonna start whatever I need to do to get better. And so I was trying to do that. And second year I had better results, and this year I had worse results. But that's his life sometimes.
Oh, Heck yeah. What where have you found sort of your rhythm? Like we've got all these different sites, coupon sites and running sites, but where have you kind of found that sweet spot for you and sort of your weekly routine?
Yeah, so everything has really changed in the last probably 6 months or so.
Mm.
I before or I guess last year I was really into the Murph challenge. Um, so after doing the summer Murph challenge, I enjoyed it. I did a couple more, or Mondays I would usually do a Murph, and then I think it was right before New Year's of 24. Yeah, it must have been 24. A bunch of us were at Karma afterwards, and I think it was Summer Catch and I ended up getting into it. Like, yeah, we should set a goal for 50 for the year. Like, or we could just do 100. Why not? 100 sounds great. And so we bumped that up, and then I got to 50 quicker than I thought I would. Like, or, why not just do 150? You know what? Screw it. Let's do 200. 200 is my number. And like, I thought that was a pinnacle. And then you got guys like Edger and Mr. Rogers that are absolutely destroying it. I want to say Mr. Rogers crossed 200 last week or the week before, and I was like very much right up to the end of the year. Like, yeah, no, this is the and did some stupid stuff to make sure I got it, but yeah, they just been killing it, which is awesome to see. I'm sorry, I don't even know what the question was. I just went off
No,
on
that was
tangents
it.
'cause
Yeah,
it's like,
that was
yeah,
it. That was
yeah,
it. I love it. I think yeah, the IronPAX is an interesting one. It's like kind of competition, but also a good like fitness test measure of how you're
yeah.
doing. I would be curious when you started, right? And you mentioned you weren't in a good headspace, so I'm sort of curious like if you could share more on that. But I'm also curious like fitness goal wise or progress, like if you made progress you were hoping to make, or where you at with some of your fitness goals.
Yeah. So fitness goals, and I used this in a COT earlier in the year, or maybe it was during Q-Source or something. But I made some pretty lofty goals for the year. I wanted to do a marathon. I wanted to do 100 Murphs. I wanted to read 100 books. I wanted to run 2,000 miles, and I don't know what the other one was. I don't know that needless to say is the right one, but I failed at all of them. It was not, or let me rephrase that. I didn't fail at all of them, most of them. I ran my marathon, and honestly, everything kind of I had a little bit of a rough go with it. It
Mm,
was a so teleprompter ran into him. I want to say it was around New Year's of 25, which is apparently when all of the bad ideas come out. But
yeah.
ran into him at Karma after a Saturday run with Baby back, and we were talking about doing a marathon, and so we go up there afterwards just see who was going to be there. After Oracle, and so we ran into the teleprompter, and I'm like, yeah, we're thinking about doing a marathon, and it's going to be great. And then he was like, "Oh, have I got just the one for you?" And so we ended up doing the Fargo one. He was like, "Yeah, it's always cool there. Temperature's great. Great crowd. It's gonna be awesome." I'm like, sweet. I don't want to run somewhere hot. Let's do that stuff. And so we get there and I look at the temperature like, "You lying son of a bee."
Yeah.
So I think temperature got up to about 85 by the time we
Mhm.
finished, and so like the first and the pace setters knew that it was going to be hotter, and so they were kind of speeding up the pace so that you could still end where you were hoping to aim for, but they went a whole lot faster at the beginning, and I didn't
Mm.
know that, so I'm just like, this is awesome, making great time, killing it. I'm going to crush this marathon. And then at about mile 16, like things started cramping, and then about mile 18, like things really started cramping, and so I had to walk like the last 6 miles or so, um, and yeah, so that was the talk about bad headspace. I was super not happy because I was hoping to run like a 345, 350, and I think I ended up at like 420. So I was disappointed about it, but I don't know. It was as disappointed as I was. It was a good thing. Just like I said earlier, it's a reminder that some limits are actual limits, and maybe you shouldn't push through things. So,
Yeah.
and I found out I guess we got back on Sunday, and then noticed some interesting stuff. And it turns out I had rhabdo. And
Oh, wow.
yeah, so it was
What is
I
that
don't know.
for the uneducated people like me?
Uh, so your muscles start to like kind of eat themselves of sorts. Like you and Plague is going to be much smarter on this than I am, but essentially your kidneys kind of can, if you go far enough, it gets to where they shut down and could be
Oh, wow.
really severe. So I don't know what the number or what the units are, but at like 4,500 is when your body starts shutting down, and I was at like 3,000, somewhere right around
Yeah.
in there. So yeah, so I spent the night in the hospital Sunday night, which was super fun and stupid.
Wow.
But
Yeah,
again,
basically your muscles start breaking down, and then the contents of your muscles start getting released into the bloodstream.
yeah,
So you think of all things that are make up the muscle. So from a more of a medical standpoint, but like I think you hear David Goggins, right, has gotten that from some of his ultra running,
yeah,
and when you're just pushing your body way beyond maybe what it's capable of, but that had to be a difficult situation. I guess talk us through, and maybe I interrupted it. I think you were going to kind of talk us through how the rest of that went covering.
yeah. Honestly, I feel like things have just not been right since then. And so that it was really frustrating because, like I said before, I really like to push it. I want to, be, kind of balls out on everything, and I really want to, you know, um, yeah, I just want to push myself on everything, and so it's kind of caused me to reflect a little bit and maybe take a couple steps back and slow down a little bit. But
Mm.
I think I'm finally starting to turn the corner. So between the marathon and then the 50-mile march, it's kind of taken a lot out of me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anything that you have found that has been helpful for you as you kind of navigate this? Hey, I've pushed my limits and now I'm needing to reassess, and you know, I- I'm battling a little internal communication with myself of frustration with how that went, not meeting my goals, and then also needing to be realistic about my own personal health. You-
Yeah. Um, yeah. So honestly, it's kind of funny. I was listening to Mayday's show, and he was like, "Yeah, earlier this morning, I had to talk, or during Q source, this topic came up, and like this topic came up. I was kind of doing the sad clown thing of like, well, I'm just gonna, kind of just push it down, grin and bear it. I'm not gonna lean on anyone because I don't want to inconvenience anyone." And that was like literally the topic was shield lock this morning, and
Yeah.
that just came up over and over again of us wanting to not want to show any weakness, not want to I guess ask for help because then that means that you're weak, and why would you do that? So it's been a challenge, I guess, in figuring out how to do that. And I guess honestly, I just have kind of dealt with it and tried to push through and found other ways to try and get after stuff. So
Yeah.
so full circle back to the original year routine. I'm just now starting to get back into a routine with F3. For I think we're on week 2 of the second session. So I've shifted over into weightlifting. I
Mm.
have a pretty decent gym, and a buddy of mine, Barry, he came out once for F3, but he and I were talking. We're family friends, and he was saying that he was looking into getting this equipment for his gym downstairs, and like, or you can just come over to my house and we can lift together. It's going to be great.
Yeah.
And so, he's started coming over, and then Split Shot. He's another one that we've started bringing in, and Killian's was coming for a good long time. So yeah, anyways, I mean, week 10 of lifting, and then just slowly starting to get back in. I think my new rhythm is going to be probably three days a week of F3. So the 10 weeks have been amazing of the lifting. Like I forgot how much I just genuinely enjoy lifting weights. Um, but the couple of times that I've been back since I started that, my God, I forgot how much I genuinely enjoy being around the guys. Like
Mm.
I miss everyone, and that's been awesome getting back out there
What
again.
you know what's cool to hear about this, because we've been focusing on this like first step fitness, physiological component of F3 here, but through this, there's kind of a transformative journey here where you say, hey, I came because my wife is saying we need to meet people. But as we're talking, most of your comments are about other guys and the things they've said to you and the things that you've done with other guys. So you've found
Yeah.
some community here. Maybe walk us through some of that.
Yeah. Honestly, it's been so life changing. I've always been, I'm gonna do it by myself. And a lot of self consciousness around working out. Like I didn't want to go to a gym because people are gonna look at what I'm lifting and they're like, oh, that guy's weak. Which is stupid because like no one looks at what anyone else is lifting. No one really cares unless you're lifting like 1,000 pounds on a deadlift. Like literally, no one cares what you're doing.
Right.
Um, so that was really challenging. But so yeah, I was all about just lifting by myself. I got all the weights down in my basement so I could do it by myself. And then when I went to that first F3 workout and probably the second or third, like man, there's really something to this. It really is great to lift with people, or not lift, but to work out with people and like be able to share. And then this thing was Blades. His story. He shared that during a COT, and I'm like, holy crap, what is going on here? Like this is some like really personal stuff. How do you do that? I can't do that. This is crazy. And I don't know. It's just I don't know. I've adored F3. Like it means so much to me. Like I can't even describe how much it's meant. Like, before that, I probably had maybe 15 people in my phone from Omaha, and now like everyone has F3 next to it, and they have their name rather than and by their name I mean their F3 name. Like, yeah, I don't know. It's just been
Yeah.
amazing. I'm so grateful for it.
Love it. I am curious because you moved here, and you didn't really know anybody, right? So then meeting the guys within F3, right? Talk us through, because you also, like, once you started to build relationships, then you started pulling other guys into that, and I think that's kind of how the genesis of like this massive shield lock of guys. But talk us through that, because at some point you recognize like this is really good, but I don't want to keep it to myself. So what was that?
Yeah. So my very first workout, jukebox was my partner. It was a partner thing. Like someone was doing wall work, and then the other one would run around Aldridge, and then swap out, just keep doing that over and over again. So I guess I didn't really get to talk to jukebox a whole lot because he was running when I was working out, and then I was running when he was working out. But Papa Smurf was right next to me, and he, you know. He didn't physically put his arms around me, but instantly put his arms around me like, hey, we should be friends. Like, we should. Let's do it. That sounds great. And so Papa Smurf 100% was the start of the giant, massive shield lock. So he brought me in. Jukebox was in, and then I want to say the next week, Flatstick came out, and so he brought Flatstick in, and he already knew Bollywood, and they used to run together beforehand, so he brought Bollywood in, and then Haboob was new probably like 3 or 4 weeks later, and so we brought Haboob in because he seemed like a cool guy. And then Cadbury, and then I got Killians and Baby Back to come out, and then like instantly, because like they were my friends already, so like, yeah, you need to be in this too. This is what we do. And then we brought in Summer Catch, and then Baby Back and Killian's got Walleye involved, and then like, well, naturally he's your guys' friend, and he should be our friend too. So let's bring him in, and then we brought Taken in, and so that's kind of how it all started. But 100%, it was Papa Smurf just being Papa Smurf, an amazing dude.
Yeah. Didn't they meet in your garage though? Weren't there a couple like workouts where you guys met? Or
No,
maybe I'm remembering wrong.
yeah, so we started going in my garage once because Killians and Baby Back were rucking around the neighborhood, and I saw them
Oh yeah.
like, hey, you need to let me walk with you too. I want to walk. I like to walk. Let's walk together. It'll be great. And so we started doing that, and then Walleye came in, and I think maybe that day that I asked Walleye. So Walleye came in, and then I was like, hey, so do you mind if I just start putting this out and have more people come? And then more people came, and then as more people were coming, like, and I think by that point I had gone to or no, I hadn't gone to, but I had heard about Taki's Cafe. I was like, we can do that in my garage. I like to have coffee. I made coffee before. Let's do that. And so yeah, it just kind of grew from there. But honestly, I love Ruckus. Ruckus is amazing. It's great, and I love Blue Line. Blue Line is amazing and great, but and I miss coffee. We were calling it the Galactic Grounds, so I miss coffee in the
That's
Galactic
cool.
Grounds.
Yeah. Awesome. I love it. I would be curious too, as you think about, because you've lived in so many different places, right? And now, I think you're settled here because you're officially like retired and doing a new job, retired from the military, I think, right? So you can correct me if
Yeah.
I'm wrong, but what has like in terms of like finding a place you call home, like how have those relationships kind of contributed to just your feeling like you belong here in this community?
Yeah, absolutely. So it was funny. Nowhere in the military really felt like home. I always refer to Virginia as home because that's we moved there when I was in second grade, and then uh, two of my sisters still live there. But anyways, nowhere really felt like home. Maybe Korea did, of all places. It was the most bizarrely different from anything that we had ever lived to that point. But that was mainly just the people that we had there. We had like 4 or 5 families. So we lived in like a 12-story apartment, and each floor had like, was it six, nine or 10 apartments on it. And so our floor would get everyone together, and we'd just go out in the hallway and we drink, and the kids would run around and go have fun. And like it was, so that was the closest before here to having like or feeling like home. And then we get here, and 100% it's always the people that makes it feel like home. And yeah, we love it here. And it's it's funny, if you had asked me probably even a year before moving to Omaha, would you call Omaha home? And is that where you're gonna live forever? Like, hell no, absolutely not. I want nothing to do with Nebraska. Granted, I'd never been to the middle of the country, so I had no idea. But
No.
yeah, we love it here. It's by far the best place that we've lived. And I was talking with Wait Time about it a good bit ago, but like, there's no way that I could leave here. I can't leave the family that we have with F3. And if for some reason I had to, because after Liz agreed to follow me for the last 10 years of my career, I told her, as soon as I retire, whatever you want to do, like I will 100% be your support, because you were an amazing rock for me. So if we were to ever move, 100%, if F3 is not there, I'm starting it, because like
Yeah.
it just means the
Good.
world to me.
Good. Yeah. Speaking of your M and maybe career aspirations or life aspirations for her, has she found a way to get plugged into the community here?
She has. We actually, about this time last year, I reached out to a bunch of guys in our neighborhood. See, I want to say there's probably 8 to 10 F3 guys in our neighborhood. So I reached out to a bunch of them, like, hey, let's do a progressive dinner for Christmas time.
Nice.
And everyone like instantly was like, yeah, that sounds awesome. Let's do it. And so I think that's been super helpful to her, building some of that community. And then, she got more involved with orchestra, or not orchestra, I'm sorry, with show choir, excuse me. And she made amazing friend there, who's actually Barry's wife. And then she got involved with the band booster club, and she's made friends there. And she just started her job in, I want to say it was the second or third week in August. And I don't know, she loves it there. And she's really been able to make a huge impact there already. And she's gonna just continue to grow. And she needed to work, and she was willing to put that off so that she could support my career. And like I said, whatever she wants to do, she has the keys.
Yeah.
I'm gonna support the heck out of her. So
Yeah. Well, it's good to hear that she has some hooks in her, right? I mean,
yeah,
we want to see people stay, and once you're
absolutely.
in the community, we want you to stay a part of the community. I'd be curious, just your family as a whole. I mean, what are their viewpoints on this male PE class that we do?
They, they're supportive. They like to laugh at me from time to time, or when I'm like, "Oh yeah, Papa Smurf," like, pretty sure his name's not actually Papa Smurf. Like, well, it is what it is. So,
Yeah.
but they're supportive. And, so this is the second time that I've ordered a different shirts from the F3 store, and apparently I'm stupid. So I ordered a small. So I just gave my youngest daughter a small hoodie that
Nice.
she really loves. So they're on board. I haven't brought them out to a beatdown yet, which I need to get on that at some point. But yeah,
Yeah.
I know that they'd enjoy it too. So
How old are your
Any
kids, Star-Lord? I
yeah.
forget their ages.
13 and 15.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So probably on the longer or the later side to bring him out, but I don't care. I think Finley would love it. So
Yeah. Heck
Nice.
yeah.
Well, we've kind of touched on some other items, but just other involvement in maybe the second F space, which kind of bleeds into the third F or the first F. I mean, they're all kind of intertwined. But you and I had got to do CSOP last year together. But I'm just curious your experience with other things like that, being able to partake in CSOP or Q source opportunities. These challenges. Maybe expand on some of those and your time there.
yeah, absolutely. So CSOP was amazing. I really enjoyed it, getting to see all the guys coming through, and we jumped in and we worked out with them, but it wasn't everything that they experienced, and I don't know, it was amazing to see the exhaustion on their faces, but them continuing to go. I thought that was super cool.
Well, I thought
Um,
CSOP was cool because you really, really took on a leadership role and made my job pretty easy. You came like, "Hey, this is what I'm thinking, all planned out." I'm like, "That sounds awesome. Let's do it." So that that was really cool.
yeah, sometimes I have a hard time taking a step back, like,
Yeah, I
I
loved
don't
it,
know.
man. Don't apologize.
Yeah, so that was fantastic. I loved helping out with that. Trying to think of other things that I've done. 100% Q source is like the best thing ever. And again, I was listening to Mayday's episode when I was downstairs working out this morning after the beatdown, and he was the uh, where was I going? He was mentioning how reading through the book is terrible, and like that was the first book that I got from F3, and like this is garbage. I can't do it. Like I just read it straight through. Like
Yeah.
literally every other word was gibberish. Like this is terrible. And then actually, after taking over Combine and we do Key Source every Friday, like I adore it. I love it so much. It is the conversations that we have are so incredibly impactful and meaningful. People being vulnerable and sharing their experiences and getting to learn from each other is absolutely amazing. And I think that was part of what really drew me in was vulnerability and men being willing to talk about stuff, about successes, and more importantly about failures, and having and not, I hate the term, I detest it, but having a safe space where we could talk, that really, you know really impactful. So I'm so grateful that that Combine was or is a Q source, and no matter where I am on Friday, like today I went to Fancy Feast for the flag pass, and
Hmm.
it would have been great to have coffee with those guys, but I want to go back to Combine because I
Yeah.
love the conversations, and I love when there's new people there that bring their perspective into the conversation too. Every time it's something new, and I love it.
I was going to comment on that. When I have been to Combine for Q Source, I noticed that people sort of trickle in, right? Because they're coming to that Q Source from their sites, right? They, for whatever reason, posted somewhere else and show up there for the Q Source, which I love, which is really cool. I would be curious. Do you have a favorite Q Source topic? Like a favorite Q point? What's been maybe the most challenging one?
I don't know. I don't know that I have a favorite or most challenging. I think probably the most challenging is like the 1, the 2, the 3, and the 4. Like the ones that before you actually get into the meat and potatoes of it, for lack of a better term. Like I don't know, it's harder to get conversations going. And at Combine, I always thought that and maybe I didn't share this as well as I should when I was at Psy-Q, but I always thought that, I wanted the Q to lead the Q source. And, I wanted them to do that so that, if, no matter what, I could always jump in. I'll be the first one to make a comment so that everyone in the room feels like, all right, well, cool. We're going to, this is just what we do. We're going to talk and we're going to participate and it's going to be good. So, um, yeah, I think the like ones before you get into the actual good topics or not good top, they're all good topics, but you know what I mean.
The foundation, yeah,
Yeah,
some of those, yeah, I love it. It is interesting, right? Because it's a framework, and I think as I'm learning more about it, like they hit you differently, right, at different
yeah,
moments in life, which is sort of the value, in my opinion, of going through
oh
it
yeah,
over and over again. But
absolutely, and going to different sites and seeing how they do it too, because going to the village, they do Q source there, and it was a little bit different. And those are guys that I don't work out with regularly, and to hear what they had to say about things was really cool. And actually, I think when I queued there, it was on Shield Lock, and it was a completely different conversation than we had this morning. And like,
yeah.
I love that. I think it's awesome.
Yo, Gloom listeners, it's the Plague, and today I'm talking about getting your finances as fit as your physique. Our very own F3 Omaha brother Jean-Claude, aka Michael Pfluger, at Avior Wealth Management, specializes in building personalized financial plans. He understands the journey you walk in life as a man of faith, safeguarding your family and creating a legacy. Jean-Claude is ready to help you plan your finances with intention so that you can live with purpose. And that's just the beginning when you work with the Avior Wealth team. Visit avior.com/F3. That's AVIOR.com/F3 and see how Michael can guide your financial journey today. Yep. Well, talk us through, fitness, fellowship, faith, right? Sort of that third F, the faith piece. I would be curious, like, what's been your journey? Like, how have you, with all of the sort of moves in physical location, how have you found consistency in that sort of third F spiritual realm?
Yeah, not well. I think is the best way to say it. It's that's kind of always been a little bit of a struggle for me. So we moved to Virginia when I was in second grade. Grew up Catholic. The priest at my church was a drunk, and he would go to church and preach drunk. And my parents were like, "All right, well, we're done. We're not gonna go back there." And I've been in and out of the church after that, but it wasn't. It hasn't been the consistent thing that I would hope that it would be. And the I can't thank Walleye enough for it. It was right before New Year's last year. We're at the Blue Line, and we were talking about trying to accelerate different things, and everything is always you're going to accelerate on your fitness, you're going to accelerate on being more involved with people, and the second F. But he was like, I don't really focus on the third F, and I'm going to focus on that. Like, yeah, what the hell, man? Why am I not doing that too? That sounds awesome.
Yeah.
So this year has been it's been kind of special. I've read the New Testament before. I never read the Old Testament, but I'm doing the daily Bible recap this year.
Oh,
And
yeah.
there was probably a month or so where I sucked really, really bad at it. But then we went on vacation, and I had nothing but time on my hands because unfortunately I'm a stupid early waker and my family is not. So, I just breezed through like 10, 12 days, and eventually got caught up. And it's been super, super meaningful for me this year. And trying to find ways that I can focus on that. It's really easy to set goals for fitness and for those other things. It's a little bit more challenging to do that on the third F side, but it's been good.
Yeah. I'd be curious if you think that F3 helps kind of pour into that a little bit, or where you can find areas where it kind of supplements some certain things? Just curious your thoughts on that.
Yeah, I think it if it wasn't for F3, like I would probably be exactly where I was. And that's not to say that I'm in a great place on that side, but I'm definitely, I've accelerated some on that, and the conversations have been fantastic. And uh, I remember it was a bitter, stupid cold day at Combine. I think it was Scuba was vulnerable about that. And again, vulnerability is so important. But he's like, I have questions about things, and I believe I'm a Christian, but I don't know. I just have questions, and like, it being a safe, again, hate the term, but it being a safe place to have those conversations was awesome.
Mhm.
It was so good.
I love just kind of hearing it's funny, right? It's almost like the guys that wrote the book kind of knew how this would go, right? Like the fitness, pulling you in, and then like just over time, those conversations getting deeper and a little bit more serious. And I wanted to touch on the Bible recap, right? So you hear a lot of guys talk about the Bible in a year through Father Mike Schmitz, but you're talking about the daily Bible recap, which is Tara Lee Cobble. It's a blue,
Yeah.
which is a phenomenal way to get through scripture, and super easy, right? And achievable. And
Yeah.
like, like conceptually it's not easy, right? Because you got to like reflect and think on things. But I think if guys are out there sort of wondering like, how do I take one step to just explore that third F realm, I love that you mentioned that. I think I just want to call it out because it's a different podcast than what some guys use, but I have listened to that one too, and man, it's really, really good. But I would be curious, what, and you think about like moving around, and because most guys, right, the story that we hear is I grew up going to church, went to college, drifted away, then I had kids and I kind of came back. But you have this element of like hard to find a church home, right? When your home is changing, and so how are you feeling from like that, like a third F perspective? Like you got to be feeling like you're in more of a stable place where you can be consistent in that area.
Yeah, I am. Definitely much more stable, but I don't know. It's so my wife has had several experiences with different churches, and I guess not so much churches so much as different believers that were awful to her, and so she doesn't really have a desire to go and be a part of it. And so that definitely does make it challenging, and I think that's where the daily Bible recap has been fantastic to be able to reconnect, and F3 has been fantastic to be able to reconnect. And it's not F3 is open to everyone. It doesn't matter what your religion is, but to hear people talk and to be able to think about what's come out of it, it's been super meaningful and impactful for me.
I love it. Yeah, and I think it is interesting, and I'm not going to remember this right, but Dredd just wrote a recent blog article that talks about like the church, right? Like the church is like the people, and sometimes people who are sinful, right? We can be tough and difficult, but I do think the other cool thing, and hopefully you'll get to experience this, right? But like as you grow in your faith and you're connecting with your shield lock, like those guys certainly have other ways that they've approached, similar problems. That's what's always interesting to me, right? Is I've never brought a problem to the guys in the Gloom or my shield lock and had them been like, never heard of that, like it's
Yeah.
always, there's always somebody that's like, I've been there, or I've got a friend that's been there. And so just the number of resources. And I would be curious too, because I know you've done a ton of stuff kind of on the other side of third F with like community engagement and serving the community. I don't know if you would be willing to talk us through some of those experiences or opportunities.
Yeah, I guess clarification question if I could. But so like I've been pretty engaged with the community, but not strictly from the or I guess related to church, but no,
Yeah,
I've
that's
helped
okay.
out with the yeah.
No,
Okay.
it's a good question. Yeah. So and I should have prefaced this, right? In F3, I think we sort of like the third F has sort of like your faith spiritual stuff, but then we also kind of anything we do for community service or to, I think we kind of bucket into that third F category
Yeah.
as well. So just curious if like, I don't know if you've done the brush up project or I remember early on you came to me with this like really great idea, but it was way bigger than anything I could do. And I was sort of like, I don't know, Star-Lord, I think you should lead that, but I don't know. Just would love to hear kind of your experience there
Yeah.
serving the community.
So, yeah, Brush Up has been amazing. I'm still mad at myself. I missed this year. I went the first 2 years that I was in, and I missed this summer. And I think it was like noon or something. Like, oh crap, I was supposed to go do Brush Up. Son of a. So that was super disappointing. But that was I don't know. I adored that. It was amazing to be a part of it, and for people to bring their kids out there, the 2.0s and a couple M's helping out, like that was awesome. I've been involved with the show choir. I like to roadie with them for the Q. That's been super fun. I've done that 2 years now. I've been a roadie with the Miller North Band for 2 years. I'm taking over as the head roadie next year,
Nice.
which has just been amazing. Getting to be around the kids that my kids are around and that they're spending time with has just been it's been super meaningful and impactful. And I'm sure if I were to ask my daughters, they'd be like, "Yeah, okay, it's fine." They're not overly excited, but hopefully later on, it's something that they're going to see and remember and be like, "Yeah, that's just what we're supposed to do." And that's always been it seems like with every organization that I was a part of, there's always 5 or 6 people that dive in and help out, and then everyone else just kind of, skates by, don't do anything. And uh, Liz was kind of I did some beforehand, but Liz was the catalyst for that to get me to, give back more and be a part of things and, help people that are less fortunate and just whatever I can do. Cause I've had an incredibly blessed life, way better than I deserve, and so anything that I can give back to anyone else to help them to feel that love that I've had, that's just what I want to do. So.
Awesome. One other thing I wanted to kind of talk to you about because I feel like you've learned a lot in this space. And I don't know if you have pinpointed like where this comes from, but just sort of and I could be totally off here, but I hearing your story and hearing like some of your journey, sort of this like how do we combat, we get to these moments in life and we have like self-doubt. I think you maybe mentioned some of that early on, or we convince ourselves that like we're not enough but I don't know, like talk me through like it's I think like and this is just me kind of piecing it together, right? But like I think it sounds like that may be something that you've been able to work through. And I know a lot of other guys deal with that. So I don't know if you have any like lessons learned or anything you can share in that space.
Um, I wish I did. Honestly, I'm just a little bit hard headed. It takes me a long time to kind of get out of my own way, but when I do, I'm like, all right, well, screw it. It's this is what I'm doing now. I don't really care. It may be ugly for a while, but eventually, hopefully, maybe it will be less ugly. And just gonna keep after it. So that would probably be the best advice that I can give is get out of your own way.
Yeah.
Just try something new.
Mhm.
I was pretty obnoxious about it for a long time, but the comfort crisis. It's a phenomenal book. If you haven't read it, read it because
Yeah.
it's amazing. And it talks about being uncomfortable, and that's the only way that you grow. And yeah, I don't know. Everything that I've done, it's taken sometimes longer than it should to get to where I need to be or what I want to do. But every time that I've taken that step, I've just been, it's made all the difference. So, and that
Interesting.
is 100% not to say that I am in any way, shape, or form good at it. I struggle with it a lot, but every time I take that step, it's always better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're
Well,
the
and
second guy
what's
this week to recommend
yeah,
that book. So
Oh,
I
it's
would
amazing.
just I'm gonna say I'm gonna read that one because we also had Bambi, not the Village West sector Bambi, but the Beverly Hills East Side Bambi recommended
Nice.
Comfort Crisis.
yeah.
I'm gonna add that to my Kindle library here this weekend.
Yeah, it is just incredible. And when you there's a part, and that's one of the parts that I'm the most obnoxious about. And my wife just sent me something like, "Oh, look at this! This is a neat new idea." Like, literally, I've told you about this for 3 years now. But when you get to the Misogi part, tell me what you want to do, and I'll join you. That's kind of my jam. Yeah. Anyways, I've this year was a little bit harder, and I guess I'll just count the 50-mile march because I didn't really do anything out of the ordinary. But the year before was a fun challenge that I'm grateful that I went after. So
That's awesome, man. And I just want to say, like, what's encouraging, and we get to sit here and listen to these stories and share your story. But one thing that I keep hearing or keep thinking about is like intentionality or just purposeful. I mean, being purposeful in the things that you do. I mean, you come out. I don't know anyone. I want to meet people. Bang! I meet people, and I create this big shield block. You know, just I want to accelerate in this fellowship, build a community. I do that. I'm really going to be intentional and focus on this third F. Yes, I'm not where I want to be, but I'm accelerating. Those are like incredible things, and you know, you're leading other guys. You're leading your family unit right now. So I just want to reaffirm you. Those are
thank
awesome,
you.
awesome things. And as we're talking about leading your family or leading other guys, helping other people accelerate, just, talk to us about your leadership opportunities that you had, anything that you took away from being a Psy-Q or revelations you had throughout this journey you've had.
Yeah, man, being a Psy-Q was so much fun. I really, really, really enjoyed it. I was not good at many aspects of it, but it was a lot of fun. Regardless, getting to help people to grow themselves and to lead was just super fun. And uh, something that I'll tell everyone that is a Psy-Q, like, your job is to be with a six. Let the queue for the day, let them go, be in front, you be in the back.
Mhm.
There should never be anyone alone, and that is your job. If other people want to be there with you, that's cool. But no matter what, you need to be there. And the friendships from that were so meaningful, and seeing those people that are now bringing up the six, like they're going back to help people out, like
Mhm.
that's the glue. That's what makes this just work, makes it so special. And I don't know. I love it. It was so much fun.
That's incredible. And any skills you think or anything learned over time that you think kind of translate over either professionally or personally into your life?
Just building people up,
Yeah.
never letting anyone struggle. And that's not entirely true. People need to struggle, and that's a part of life, but being there to support them through the struggle and letting them know that you're there for them, and building up the next generation, the next leaders, giving them the opportunity to get out in front, and
Yeah.
sharing whatever I can to try and make it a little bit better for them, and leave it better than what I saw or what I found. And that's not to say it wasn't fantastic, because barbershop,
Yeah.
everyone that's been to Psy-Q at a combine are amazing, but barbershop absolutely crushed it. So there were small tweaks here or there that I wanted to try and do or something, but yeah, I don't know. Just I guess that I don't know that I answered the question. I just rambled.
No, that's okay. No, I mean, it's awesome. And I think what guys may not be realize, and maybe they're on the fence about being a Psy-Q or haven't really given it much thought, but it truly is such a privilege to be able to sit there. I mean, you're talking about, hey, your duty is to pick up the six, and over time you get to see guys progress, and they're the ones hanging back picking up the six. That's acceleration. It is a privilege to be able to sit there and
Yes.
watch people accelerate. And I just hear that in your voice, and I just wanted to note that for guys who may be listening and have questions about with being a Psy-Q or have reservations. There's so much that you get out of it, but I just really wanted to emphasize this privilege that we get to have to be able to do that.
Yes, absolutely. And just know that uh, everyone is there to support you. Everyone is there to make you look good, and to make this mug look good. It's pretty hard, but everyone's there to support you, and it's just such an amazing community. And do it. Don't talk to your M. Make sure that there's not some major thing, but do it. Be a Psy-Q. It's amazing. It's so much fun.
Yeah, Starlord, I think in the time I've gotten to know you, just your energy, like just always the guy who's going to bring it, right? And I just really appreciate that. And I think the way you've leaned in and taught other guys to lean in, right? I mean, it sounds like I'll hear more about it when I read this Comfort Crisis book, but this mentality of like, what's your goal? Let me help you achieve it, right? What are the things that are important to you? I think that, like, I need to work on that at home, right? Like, what are the things that are important to my M and my 2.0s, and am I partnering with them? And see you doing that and all. It's just so cool to see, and I'm just, just grateful for the chance to know you and be around you, and would love to hear, like, as you're thinking about current state, like what's going on in life, where maybe you need prayers or support or encouragement. Like next time I see you out there, tap you on the shoulder and say, "Hey, how's that thing going? What's on that list for you?"
Yeah. I would say my biggest challenges right now. I'm just, I don't know. Ever since the marathon, my fitness has kind of gone down and my weight has gone up, and I don't know. I think that's apparently it's not possible to out king your queen. So I've tried really hard, but
if only somebody would have wrote that in a book, right? If only that was in a book somewhere.
I know. Yeah, it would be nice if it was. I'm pretty creative, so I know I came up with it myself. But yeah,
well,
that
definitely.
and the other thing is just the third F, being there, and Papa Smurf has been fantastic supporting. He's just, not always, because if he was like, "Hey, what about this?" and then tomorrow he's like, "Hey, what about this?" Like, be like, "All right, please don't talk to me anymore. We're done." He gets some space in there, but he's fantastic. Like, and that's just the man that he is. He's super supportive in everything that he does, and so yes, those would be the two areas that I am currently struggling and could improve on. So I appreciate it.
Yeah, I love it. Well, thanks again for just taking time to share your story, for just your leadership, your vulnerability. I mean, I think I have learned a ton from you, and I'll be reaching out because you've got some teenage girls. My girls are not there yet, but I guarantee you I will need help going through some of those phases of life. So keep your phone on, brother. We'll do a little name-orama to wrap us up here. I'll start. Brandon Flehardy, 39, The Plague.
John Whitworth, 34, Pony Express.
Pony Express. And Paul Cadell, 44, Star-Lord.
And what's the call sign? What do we do after we say Star-Lord? Do we say anything?
Who? Do you remember from the first Guardians of the Galaxy, when he's like introducing himself to the guy from Amistad? It's like Star-Lord, and then he's like, "Who?
Who? Oh, okay.
I like that.
So I love it. Oh man, we are so cruel to each other sometimes, but I love it. It fits with the name. Well, I appreciate you, brother. Have a good rest of your day.
Thank you guys so much. I truly appreciate the opportunity to chat, and thank you guys both for doing this and for everything that you do for F3 Omaha. Y'all are a big part of what makes this all run. So thank you for being you and for the example y'all are setting.
Appreciate that.
Honored,
Love
man.
you, brother.
Scars on our hands, hope in our chest. We're not defined by the weight of the test. Brothers in step, we carry the flame. Different roads, but the heartbeat's the same. Every man's got a story to tell, from the valley low to the mountaintop, yeah. Every man's got a story inside, standing strong, we won't hide. Every man, yeah, every man's got a story. We've been broken, we've been bruised, but we rise again and we don't get to choose. Through the fire, through the fight, Every man's story burns in the night. Scars on our hands, hope in our chest. We're not defined by the weight of the test. Brothers in step, we carry the flame. Different roads, but the heart beats the same. On a story to tell, from the valley low to the mountaintop yell. Every man's got a story inside. Different roads, but the heart beats the same. Every man's have a story to tell, from the valley low to the mountaintop yell. Every man's got a story inside. Standing strong, we won't hide. Every man, yeah, every man's got a story. Every man's got a story. Voices rise like thunder, they roll. Truth in the pain, it's shaping the soul. Chains may rattle, but they break in time. Every man's story is yours and mine. From the struggle to the glory, every man's got a story. In the dark or in the light, we keep marching through the night. Every man's got a story inside. Every man's got a story to tell. From the valley low to the mountaintop